Live. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, and everything possibly in between over on Sean Cross in the Cross Core. For me, currently, it is 4:27 p.m. down here in Phoenix. And well, all the boys here, as they are up in Havasu City, we're all roughly in the same time zone. We welcome back the Invirulants. Okay. We welcome back Derek. We welcome back good old Brandon Slamden Shobe. And we welcome back Mr. Tristan Cheshire of Invirulant to go ahead and, for one, listen briefly to the EP that they just released, Necrothuggin, out now through Inherited Suffering Records with the album, the EP stream over on the Slam Worldwide YouTube channel. And then, more or less, because most of the singles, most of the songs on the EP, I've already done reactions for, I've already kind of provided press for, I've already provided time for. More or less, it's just to kind of be like, hell yeah, they finally got it out. Listening to it with them in session and kind of hearing the one track or the one or two tracks that I have not heard from this record yet.
There's two.
Oh
yeah. You'll want to. We'll skip to those ones, and like you said, we'll
listen to the good ones.
Fair enough. Okay. So let's go ahead and get that started. I'll go ahead and pull up Spotify real quick. We'll go ahead and listen to those two remaining tracks, and then we'll
No brain hate dealer.
Well, can I make a request?
Absolutely.
Let's stream it off of the video so that we can talk about how nice that video is. We
hired
somebody that did the animation videos for us, and it came out really clean, I think.
Hell yeah. Let's go ahead and pull that up then.
We can admire that handiwork.
Exactly.
As much as I want the Spotify numbers.
Which we do.
For what it counts, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, since release, I think we've gone up 200 monthly listeners right now, which has been pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was a beautiful intro, by the way, Sean. Good job.
What's up?
That was really
beautiful intro, by the way. Good job.
Oh yeah.
Thank
really
you.
well worded.
Thank you. I try.
I would have stuttered 7 times at least.
Yeah, we recently had to do an interview on camera after playing Dead of Winterfest, and it was fun.
Well, that one was tough because of the environmental. So
it wasn't us. We're professionals.
It wasn't us. It wasn't our fault.
It wasn't our fault.
Well,
my responses probably would have been better.
Have a lot more control, and it's just deliver the line, But with
exactly.
With that, there's people walking in and man out, and
it wasn't us looking at the director and him why the fuck are you looking at me?
Yeah, he's like, why are you
a couple times.
Stop looking.
Couple times.
He's like, don't look at me. Don't look at me. Cut. Don't look at me.
Cut.
Just a couple times.
No, they were such sweethearts. They were like, you guys were so professional. We've worked with a lot of bands. You guys did great. We're just
which surprised us all.
We got to wear the little microphones.
Yeah, we had lapel mics. It was so dope, dude.
Real quick, can you guys see the stream?
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, I can see it.
All right.
And then someone mid-interview was like, Brandon, someone hit your car. And then next frame, Brandon's just gone.
Oh God, I love that.
That was too perfect, dude.
It was an experience. Anyways, we present Necrothuggin. Dude, I love how the Slam Worldwide did it white for us.
Yes. No, I love that too.
To match.
I think that's the only time I've ever seen that too, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Mark Bright. Nice to see Abyss, my baby.
I really wanted it to look like a movie.
No, you're not. Hits me every time.
Yeah, that was Tristan right there, and this is Brandon and Tristan going back and forth.
Yeah, anytime you hear those really low crickets right here, that's how your man goes.
Yeah, my cricket is super clear right here.
Fucking good. Again, metal hip hop.
Yeah.
We're slam. Hardcore kid moment. Let's go. Mr. Mike Wright. So good, dude.
I never noticed that Lecter doubled up the bullshit part there.
It's delayed.
Bullshit. I never noticed that. I love that. I mean, yeah.
Clanked out, you say? Are we clanking?
Well, that's basically it. Unless you can stop earlier.
No.
I love these
I mean, the song repeats, but... Yeah, Necrothuggin was quite a war.
My favorite part.
Jazz hands it.
Trying to do some like Teletubby, choreography.
Show tunes it. The goal was to make this movement added when you heard this. Like a snake trying to eat something but he's not sure. Like Brandon killed it with the lyrics on this part. I love it so much. And then this was a last minute change to make a hardcore drum so much better.
I like that. That's sick.
Hi-hat breakdown, baby. I had to do it. I've been listening to way too much Kublicon. Way too much. Oh, mwah. Chef's kiss with the Wecta.
All right.
Yeah, dude.
Death of Slam, obviously. The dysmorphic evisceration. That's the
Yes.
other one, right?
This is actually a cover.
Oh, this is a cover?
Yeah.
Dysmorphic evisceration is the cover.
Yeah, dysmorphic evisceration is a cover of Necrothuggin.
Go 11:11 pretty much is the good time spot.
Okay.
You catch the end of Death of Slam into the dysmorphic, which is how we planned it.
Nice.
Remember, Slam is a psyop.
Slam is a psyop.
But yeah, this is a fucking cover from Brandon's original band, Necrothuggin, and we did it because their vocalist sucks now.
We did it because fuck them.
This shit goes so hard though. Like, Necrothuggin was legitimately a good band. So, there's no hate. It's literally just love.
Yeah.
Tristan played so much better on this song than the rest of it. So funny.
Well, he says that because it's a cover. Like, I've been playing this one for 10 years. I haven't played the other one for 10 fucking years.
Yeah, no, we don't take credit for writing this. This is 100% a cover. It's really fucking good. Yeah, I think this came out on Lacerated Enemy, right? This one, what came out? Was it 2013 or 2012?
God damn, this is an old song then.
Yeah. Well, this song's from 2008. They have like demo versions of it from back then.
Oh shit.
Necrothuggin wrote on one album for like 15 years. Because they have really good songs. Chad we mentioned Chad before. He was Necrothuggin, Meathook, and Raremia. He wrote great songs.
I realized
Right here,
that,
baby.
I realized that I never uploaded the lyrics. No Brain Movie or anywhere. So it's written to that.
Honestly, it was an honor to even play these riffs. They're really, really good.
You learned a lot.
It makes my job that much harder, having to try to write something that like is as good as this. Set a bar.
To be fair, this is one of the better songs too.
What's up, Joe?
This is one of their better songs too.
Yeah, no, definitely. This is like legendary. This is really well known with the Necrothuggin. I did do some civil liberties and like applied harmonics differently and shit, but we tried to stay as true to the cover and the song as possible.
If you'll notice that the vocals are a lot more subdued on this track, keeping it OG, yeah, instead of taking off and doing a bunch of small stuff.
Also, Ryan Butler, I believe, did the original mix of the thing, and they like quad track guitars. We just did a straight left right as far as I know. But this is the mix.
That's my favorite part.
Oh, hey, can we actually catch your vocals now on this new mic setup? Before you were too powerful.
I think so.
We'd be like, hey, give us a turkey, and it'd be like, what?
Alright, well, there you go, Sean.
There you go.
That's the new of the Necrothuggin.
Yeah, there are some changes hardened to paint.
Whoop.
Yeah, there's a sound clip we thought was funny.
Oh, heard. Okay. Yeah, I like it. That was sick.
There's a really Heart of the Paint's got a little bit of some new flair to it, changed some of the lyrics, the start of it's a little different, added some other clips. It hits a lot harder. The mix is just like so much better, it's ridiculous. Like Wekta, you fucking murdered that track, King. Nuts.
Yeah.
Well, boys, I mean, we ended up checking out the remaining 2 tracks from what is the Necrothuggin EP, now out through Inherited Suffering Records. Absolute banger. But funny thing is, well, that's the appetizer, right? You guys got shit. Like like we were
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
like we were saying before we even started the podcast, fucking Derek's been doing overtime for no money at all.
Always.
All of us have.
No, he gets paid in exposure.
Yeah, I get paid in exposure.
He gets paid in clout.
You know.
Slam.
We
Clout.
expose
Yeah, there you go.
key to him.
Clout bucks.
No, we already have pretty much a split ready to go. I believe that's dropping May. I'll be tracking final guitars for it. Not Wednesday, March 1st. I'll be going up to Vegas and tracking final guitars for that. And I've never tracked in a studio before, so this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like at my home studio tracking. I'm going to be going and like actually playing through like my own amplifier and like everything. Like I'm really looking forward to it.
I bet, dude. That's gonna be groundbreaking.
I'm hoping it makes the album just sound like not like any other thing we've done before. Not only because it's better written, it's just so much better written. It's like everything I did on the debut and everything I did on a Necrothuggin, but like just better.
Yeah, seriously. Like, and what's really cool is like when you guys are making the music that you are, and it, you know, quite literally the marketing strategy is 0 IQ slam, but also slam hip hop. It's definitely a different playing field when you have that opportunity. And now, like, it seems like the collective deep underground counterculture music scene, the slam scene, is taking you guys a little bit more seriously. They see that you guys are fucking hard at work. You know?
Thank you.
Yeah.
We hope they do. We are very hard at work. We just want to keep pushing. We believe, me and Tristan full-heartedly believe that Shobe deserves the world, and we're going to keep on pushing till every metal vocalist in the world is being like, have you heard this dude that looks like a dad but is like really fucking sick? Like,
it's the number one comment I get every live show. Like, I was not expecting that, dude. Dad just walked up on stage and killed it. And I was like, that's what he does. I mean,
yeah, Finn McKenty said that. Shout out Finn McKenty for reviewing to us. I love him. He said that on our music video for Death of Slam. He's like, I was not expecting those vocals to come out of Slam Dad. Like, the moment he like comes up, he's like, whose dad got on set?
Yeah, after that,
yeah, it was.
I've got to take Slam Dad. That's definitely a new name.
Yeah, it evolved over time.
Shout out,
but
Finn.
there's it was always interesting. I'm glad that like a lot of people. It makes me happy that a lot of people dig a lot of what we're doing because it's very different. Like these guys listen to we all listen to a lot of music. Don't get me wrong, but I particularly listen to like a lot more slam. Like I am the slam guy. I go out of my way to listen to that. I listen to all the underground. I mean, I'm wearing a freaking Disfigurement of Flesh shirt. It's just how it be. You know what I mean? And so when we make this stuff and I put it out, I'm always just like, I know very well that it's like not really slam, but it is. But we have to like give it to them because those are the people that would be listening to it. Like they love gutturals, they love the heavy shit, but it's straight up hip hop in that form. So it's cool to me. I'm glad that people like even at our weirdest, like dig what we're doing because I'm like, okay, clearly like the vibe that we've been trying to push is correct. You know what I mean? Because the idea is very much to everybody.
And that's what I think Necrothuggin represents is like that push because the debut was very, very one-dimensional.
The debut was the Cramulant.
Yeah, we were trying.
It was restricted.
To do something very specific.
Very restricted.
And with this, like we really opened up a lot, and like now it's like from here. I mean, we can really do whatever. I think we've found things that we like and things that we don't. But going forward, the next albums. I mean, it blows all this stuff out of the water, and then the next one that's getting even more fun. So I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
we have the next thing already done, written. We're writing for the one after that, and then we have like half of that done, and then I'm already working on the one after that. So.
And I have a personal project because we as like Envy we're gonna try to do as much of different stuff as we can, but I was gonna go out of my way because the way that we write stuff is we have a very particular kind of process, and we were gonna just kind of rotate it a little bit. And basically, we were gonna go out of their way to write like a super. So eventually, there will be like a really, really slam Invirulant record where it's not. It's even heavier than the debut, right? Because the debut is definitely like One Direction, but it's gonna be more stereotypical kind of thing.
And then I will lose my job.
I don't think so, because he says that as a joke.
Everyone's going to be like, we like the Slam album, and then Tristan's going to be like, I am the writer now.
Well, it's going to be it's more like Peeling told us this, and it's something that we were already trying to do before I even, because I mean, obviously I know Joe, but when we got to meet all of Peeling, they were like, we what's the word I'm looking for here? We like make our set based on what show we're playing. So it's like, we're going to go play with like these super, super slam bands. So we're going to put in a couple things that'll surprise them, but most of it is going to be that. And then vice versa, right? Like a lot of our newer stuff is more hardcore influenced. Like you could, we slot right in with the hardcore stuff. And if when you see us live, it actually does make sense. Like we had tons of people hardcore. We just played a California show and people were loving it.
If we had played the new material at Break and Blast, it would have been a totally different reaction.
Yeah, because it's a lot more. It's literally like traditional,
Yeah, we just played a festival in California. Break and Blast, shout out, Ceasefire. What was it? NVR was the other people.
Endeavor.
I don't know.
It's Endeavor. It's about
Endeavor.
The vowels.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, shout out all those people. They were great. Desoectomy brought us out there. We love those guys, and
Thank you,
we had a great time. And for the first time ever, I was playing Invirulant riffs. I looked out and people were crowd killing, and I was like, I support this. I 100% back this. I smiled bigger that day than I ever have.
I saw, it looks like you lost your mask.
Oh, I threw it off of me because I was like headbanging so hard that it was just like moving, and I was just like, what this shit.
I also started
did that go out into the crowd, or did you keep it?
Oh, I found it was like thrown back on stage or something. It's in my car. I don't know.
Okay, it looked like it got chucked out there. I saw a video and I was like, dang.
I was like, this is for the
you and Maddie were ready. But me, you, and Maddie were ready to play Glorp at the end, and I was like, dude, it was super obvious, but he was tuning and I didn't notice, so I hit play, turned my head, and motherfucker's tuning. I see him hit the tune and pull the fucking mask, and the mask is like half on for the whole beginning until dun dun dun, and then he just fucking pulled it off. That's what happened.
Yeah.
So it's kind of my fault, but I didn't know he was tuning. Yeah. We were all ready. So
I was like tuning. I pulled the ski mask up. I was like, I'm gonna fucking die if I don't take this thing. I've never won it the whole set before. Oh my god.
We almost did it. We almost did, but it's too hard. I can only get to 2 songs before I'm too sweaty. So
yeah.
I almost did it, but you came in early. You're like, all right, let's go. And it's like, dun, dun, dun. What the fuck?
Sorry, dog. My bad.
And then it's on wrong. I can't even see. I like walk up to the mark and I'm just like, so mid riff, I'm just like, fuck it. Let go. Like, fix it. And it's like, okay. Chun, 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 chun. And then all of a sudden the mask is slipping and I'm like, fuck this. I'm going to go hard. Dude, that part in that film, like on the video, like where I throw it off, I then start headbanging harder than I've like ever.
Yeah, I was surprised with that. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that.
You're like, oh yeah, he can go that hard the whole time. I just was wearing a mask and it was like sliding around.
I haven't seen that Eric in like 10 years.
The sets are being dictated to do that. So we just have to keep writing because we need more material to be able to balance it that way. On both sides, right? Because we want to play with everybody. If we're playing at a hip hop show, we want to play at hip hop shows, hardcore shows, and everything. So we need sets for all of that.
No, I mean, like, honestly, dude, that's creatively on a creative level and just trying to, of course, stay what Invirulant is, but also here and there kind of like have material that caters towards certain subgenres. That way you can kind of fit into the crowd a little bit better. You can kind of not exactly blend in, but they're like, oh yeah, these guys fuck with like the rest.
The reality is, I love brutal death metal.
Be real. Give people what they want.
Exactly.
I mean, I love brutal death metal, so the fact that I can add some more technical brutal death metal stuff like in the future, or more like just straight slam stuff, or more straight hardcore stuff, or if a band wants to do a porno grind fucking split with us, we'll write a gore grind album. Like, we're open to a lot of different things and fleshing out our sound not only in the album but per album.
Right. No, that's really cool that you guys are doing that same thing, like in that more specific vein of music, because it's like as long as it's heavy, people are gonna like it.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of why I was saying what I was saying. There's nothing more annoying than to me. I mean, everybody. There's so many, like 75% of metalheads will relate to this, regardless of what it is. It's nothing worse than like it's a good band, and then they release an album, and then they release another album, and it's like okay, and then it just keeps getting worse. And when I mean worse, I just mean like it doesn't sound anything like it, And so I want to make sure that like Envy, it's like we get far away from it, but then it's like, oh yeah, by the way, we are this,
Yeah.
Not enough people do that. Like if we Bring Me the Horizon wrote a deathcore album, everyone would shut the fuck up, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they're not.
Even
So
on this EP, we
I love Bring Me the Horizon so much. It makes Tristan so sad.
We keep it balanced on this EP by mixing in like super OG shit with super new stuff.
Like
Yes.
highs.
Yeah.
I know people hate highs and slam, but Brandon's highs are too good to not put in. They're just too good.
You can't do highs and slam. That's
The whole process for Necrothuggin was just like I don't know. It was war. It was like we're glad that the fight is over.
Two of the funniest comments on the stream so far. One of them is the highs make me want to stuck start a shotgun. That's really hard to say. And that's what I'm saying. That's the slam
So
dude.
good.
And I agree. I'm like, I know what he's thinking. I know why he feels that way, right? But on the other hand, there's another comment that's like, Envy makes the most inhumane and brutal noises enjoyable to listen to. And I'm like, both of these things are true. I understand why you hate that we did that, but I also, there's people out there that are like, that's why they did this. So it's funny because it's like the dichotomy of man thing. I get both of you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so funny.
I want to see this.
Um,
Hold on, where is this?
Oh, it's on the
complimenting
YouTube comments, dude.
Yeah, it's a YouTube comment, but he starts it with
Oh,
like,
they were
man, the
so
highs make me
good.
want to fucking kill myself, but everything else is it's basically
Dude,
what he said.
My favorite comment
Oh,
is I
hey,
just
right
took
there.
50 milligrams of edibles and
Yeah, there's
I'm
some
like,
good ones. There's some good ones
Dude.
this time around.
people really like this album, and that's been really refreshing because, like we said, when we wrote the debut, Indomitable
It's
Worldwide
much different
Pandemic,
than this.
we were very, very, very focused that, okay, we are Necrombulant. We're going to come back as Necrombulant. We're going to be this band. All that got thrown off the table. We're like, okay, well, we wrote it as that. We're still going to put it out. We're still going to do that. But moving forward, we're going to be, I don't know, Derek, what do you like to play? Versus Derek, learn how to play like Ron. It was
Yeah, things
Derek,
would have been a
not
lot
fucking
different,
Ron.
But
Ron was guitarist of Necrambert, as you called them, and I love that you called them Necrambert at that time.
I'm happy with what it's become, to be honest.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have expected it to become what it is, but like Necrothuggin would have not existed if events had not gone the way they would have.
Yeah,
But it's like I listened
mean-
to No Brain and I'm like, this is fucking sweet, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
we right around after the time of the debut, I had already started writing, and some of these songs are all the way from back then. Like when we were even interviewed with you last time, we already had these songs almost done. So
Fair enough.
They probably were these ones. They were probably pre-proto versions of these. So that's probably what it was. You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah.
So I think what sets these songs and what sets the music apart going forward is that I'm really using lyrics.
Yeah.
And I don't think any slam bands actually do that.
They say they do, but they don't.
Yeah.
And that has made something challenging for us because
It's made it into it. Like we said, we wanted to do this pop structure, but like I'm like, all right, are you sure this is what we want to do? It's like, so it doubled us down in that direction, which is kind of cool.
The delivery is completely different. Sorry, go ahead, Sean. My bad.
No, you're fine. You're fine. No, I was just gonna say, like, definitely like comparing the pop structure that you mentioned, that you boys mentioned, to that of Makhluk, who is a Jakarta, Indonesian based deathcore band. It's a one-person band.
Oh, okay.
He does the same thing. And if you guys haven't heard Makhluk, like, even if you're not a big fan of deathcore, or whatever, basically I would describe Makhluk as the deathcore version of AC/DC, but he's also from Jakarta, Indonesia, and he does everything for the band. He just released his first full-length record, and I mean, he's one of like the biggest guest I've had on this show, and he's also the person who made the podcast intro, and he cranked that every day.
How long are his songs?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'll go ahead.
Because so one of the biggest problems we've had is when we write pop structure in a way that is traditional, it ends up being really long because our parts are slow and long.
7 minutes.
You know, when you listen to a pop song, it's like, and then it's over. That was like 4 bars. Our 4 bars are dun 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 dun, which extends the length of the song really long, and we end up having 6-minute songs that repeat, and that's been one of our main criticisms from people is like, this shit's too long, and I'm like, yeah, but if you listen to all of it, it's doing slow. Different stuff, but people just they're not listening to that for that. That's why you got to change the genre up to make them know that what they're listening to. If you try to be like, this is slam, and then you're like, and you're all fucking Attila, they're gonna be like, no, I don't like it. It's just how it goes. You know what I mean? So
yeah, absolutely.
We fought a lot of uphill battles with me being like, this is an experiment. I want to do it this way, and then we released like 2 songs. we released singles, and then we'd get feedback before the whole thing was done. Because we were like, oh, we'll just like trickle out stuff as it finishes. And so the vision wasn't like finalized or done. And I have my bandmates being like, well, people are saying the songs are too long. Let's cut this in half. Like, it doesn't need to be this long. And I was like,
but that's dichotomous to what Spotify wants you to do, like what the algorithm. So we're slaves to the algorithm while also trying to be musicians. That's really what's happening here.
There's a fucking war.
Musician, and I'm like, we want to play. We want plays. You know what I mean?
I think that the takeaway that I can't remember which one of us said it, but it was like, as much as we want to have it repeat, if someone likes the song enough, they'll just have to play it again.
Yeah, that was what it came down to. It was just like if someone likes that riff enough, they'll just listen to it again.
That's kind of what convinced Derek, we should say. That's kind of the sentence we had to phrase it to, and he's like, "Okay, that makes more sense to me." You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then, not only that, but like I said, those songs were done like after the debut. The reason why they weren't done was because I was like, "How do I make these repeat? How do I incorporate a pop structure?" So I fight that for 2 years to then have people be like, "These songs are too long." So then my bandmates be like, "All right, let's just go back to the way it was."
Hey,
and I'm like,
the only one who really said that was
2 years.
Yeah,
it's been 82 years.
I'm like, I spent so much time on these. They're coming out the way they were fucking written.
is Growing Pains, the EP. That's what I keep calling it. And it won't feel that way again. Yeah, and even Wekta, our producer, said that.
We learned so much.
They were like, no, I don't want to do this again. You know.
Even since the stuff that we've done has been radically different.
Way cleaner.
Because we learned how not to do things from Necrothuggin.
Hard lessons, painful lessons, expensive lessons.
When we tracked Trauma Cycle, that was so clean and easy.
We did it in like a day. Necrothuggin was like 5 months where we tracked once like April of 2023. And then we tracked again periodically when you would send us updates to like layer on stuff. Like we were sending our producer like 37 vocal tracks because it's just like all the like different layers or like different styles, like different things, like not going all at the same time, like, you know, together. Like it's not like that, but
I don't know how many tracks they have now, but we sent way too many.
Yeah,
we sent way more than we should have and needed to.
We learned not to do that.
Fair enough. So to answer your question that you were asking earlier, Tristan, one of his most popular songs, which is 200 Tursuk, featuring Pradipta, Divide, a vocalist from a band called Divide. I'm not going to try to pronounce that.
Yeah, no, I get it.
This song is 4 minutes and 23 seconds, but what's really fun about this one is it is primarily deathcore and slam, but it has like a kind of surfer slam moment, and it's really, really fun. It's really fun. It's actually
I'm definitely interested in being that later at my own time, you know.
Right.
We purposely have been trying to make the experience not only for ourselves but for the listener and Invirulant fun.
Yeah.
We're really not into the whole serious cut women up gore.
I hate that shit,
all
to
that
be honest.
stuff.
I
like,
fucking love it, but that's why
I don't
we're kind of
hate it. I respect it. I know why it's there, but
You acknowledge it, the
don't watch
culture
horror
that came
films.
before.
I don't watch horror films. Tristan's like, Terrifier 2 was dope. I'm like, I'd have a fucking panic attack and run out of a theater. Like,
I mean, I'm with you, dude. I'd be the same exact way. Like Hereditary, that scarred me for a long time, and that's not even near as bad as Terrifier. Like,
real talk. As a child, I watched the Mothman Prophecies, and like I didn't sleep for like 3 days.
the Mothman Prophecies. What is that?
That's not even a
rabbit
horror
hole.
movie.
Anyway, it's
Yeah, I
not
was
even
gonna
a
say,
horror
it's a
movie.
rabbit hole.
It's not a horror movie. It's like a documentary about
Like found footage shit.
sort of. It's I don't know. It's a story about like this cryptid called the Mothman. So you can look that up. But it's pretty much revolves around that. And my little 12-year-old, 13-year-old brain was just like, that shit's real, and then just like never slept again. Like I don't know. Like
Yeah, fair.
I don't fuck with horror. I
don't know if you guys remember that. You know what? I think I said this last time I was on this podcast, but I don't know if you guys remember the beginning of Dead Space 2. But that is like the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. The neck, like he gets stabbed in the forehead by a necromorph transformer, and then it like transforms in front of your face, and I'm like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. If that tells you what kind of person I am.
Yeah.
See, I don't like horror, but I like stories. I like lore. So I played a game like Dead Space because I was like, oh, why is this happening? This is interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't play it because I was like, I want to see people get fucking chopped up in necromorphs and fucking zombies. Like, I played it because I'm like, oh, this is an interesting story with interesting characters. I want to know like how this goes.
Right. No, seriously.
Praise the Brethren Moons.
Yeah, definitely. Tristan is on top of that shit. But I mean, because he's the slam dude.
He's the resident slam dude. Yeah.
He's the resident slam dude. He's
period.
Like, I want to see someone get their fucking tatas chopped off right now.
That's the funny part. It's like Envy is literally family friendly. Like it's like literally family friendly, but it's so funny because I'm in the background always like just pushing it a little bit. Like I'm always like, what if we just like, that's why our zombies explode. Like we still have brutal stuff still, right? And that's because there's still like the influence of like, how do we take brutality and make it not so gross, I guess,
Right.
Because I love my gross shirts and everything like that, but I'm also very used to getting stared at in public by old women, and we try to not make our shirts do that, and like our music.
I'm in my 30s. I don't want to wear shirts. Oh God, we went out to breakfast after Dead of Winter, and I was wearing a cephalotripsy hoodie, and the back just says like, I eat dead infant children or something, and I'm just like,
I eat dead infants. That's all it says.
That's all it said. I don't know. I just remember people like looking at me.
Too. You're in a hospital, and the nurse was like, "What the fuck, bro?" And we were like,
"Yeah, I went and saw my friend who just woke up from a coma, and fucking nurse is just like, what does the back of your shirt say, sir?" And I'm just like, it's horror movie, the genre of metal.
So we love that, but we also try to avoid that aspect of it in every way possible. Yeah. However, me as a person, I've never done that personally. Yeah. It's always Brandon's the king of that. He's like, we could just do this instead, and I'm like, that's awesome.
Well, lyrically, I've just been sticking to making up our own fucking language and talking about how cool it is to be a clanker.
How cool it is to be a no-brain zombie that explodes when you die.
Dude, what's that one line you got coming up about the Tims?
Oh yeah,
dude, that line is so good.
Here we go again. Thank God, dropping slam like blood right off the Tims.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh my God, dude.
Motherfuckers never gonna believe.
Dude,
that's kind of what I'm saying. Like it says motherfuckers, like it has bodies and stuff like that, but it's never like too overt,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, dude, that's the reason I ended up reaching out to you guys, because
it's PG-13.
Yeah, it's PG-13. It's right on the cusp of being like rated R, like as in Venom, the first movie, Venom saying like fuck once, or just like fuck that guy, whatever.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing.
And it's not like it's like a marketed ploy or something. It's just that's who we are as people.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I don't want that shit on my art. And Tristan's like, yes, I do.
I'm just outvoted, which is probably
every time.
Thing, so
democracy.
I feel like, well, what is it? They all get one vote and I get two.
Yeah, that was the
usually
rule.
How it works. Yeah.
fucking
because
syndrome much?
otherwise, with just the three of us, there was no way to.
There was always an imbalance. It was always like, me, I want to do brutal stuff, and it was like, no. So yeah, it's always been weird. But he's always had with tiebreaker.
Yeah.
I have more weight when it comes to, I think, writing. I almost get 2 votes. Brandon's more like the vocals and presentation of the band is 2 votes.
Right.
Tristan just doesn't get 2 votes.
I changed. No, I don't even. I don't really vote stuff. I usually end up having to like change things or say something. I'm like, this needs to be this and this and this, and they usually comply pretty easily.
Yeah,
I saw those eyebrows curl there for a second, Tristan. You're like, oh wait, no, what?
he doesn't hold the whip too tight on us.
No. Yeah, I don't believe marks. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Valencia oranges.
I make him wear a real thick shirt.
You make him wear them puff sweaters, bro.
I beat him with oranges. There we go. I don't leave bruises. That's what I do. I beat the shit out of him with oranges.
Yeah. I hit him with a sack of Valencia oranges. Won't leave a mark and tell him who's boss.
Put a trim there, bitch. No.
Get some of your daily citrus, motherfucker.
every day, dude, he's like, put a trim there. And I'm like, Sergeant D, Finn McKinty said slam is just chugs and pinches. I'm not allowed to do that.
Yeah,
and he's like,
but
I don't give a fuck what Finn said.
That is exactly what I do. I'm like, you saying he has more authority over slam than me? And he's like,
I'm like, yes.
And then
yes, he does. And then he leaves.
And then I'm like,
he doesn't even like slam.
We both did it at the same time.
It's true. It's true.
I can get you shit.
No, my dream is to have Finn McKinty finally be like, I like Invirulant, and me be like,
yeah,
I did it.
There you go.
He technically did. He said a lot of positive things.
He did say a lot of positive things, but he also was like,
I wasn't expecting him to say anything that positive, so I thought it was a W. But you know,
I don't know. I'm thinking of sending him No Brain. But we'll see. It's a 5-minute song, so he's just gonna be like, it's a 5-minute song. What did I say? Like,
what did I tell you?
What did I tell you?
Release.
Gotta love that shit.
You guys
anyways, we haven't got through any of your questions that you sent us yet. We've just been talking. I'm sorry.
I was literally just about to say that. What'd you say, Brandon?
I was just looking at. I was gonna say, do you guys want to talk gear? We can all talk about our new toys.
Talking about the new toys, please.
I got a Vader cabinet. I love Vader. Can I tell you how much I love my Vader cabinet? Because Vader is amazing.
Yeah, it's nice and boxy.
It's light.
It is so much lighter than mine.
It's so light.
It's so chunky, but it's not heavy to lift at all.
Oh, that's good.
It sounds so amazing. The louder you push it, the better it sounds. Like, I don't know, it like just breaks up really nice. Like,
yeah, I mean, definitely don't have that much experience with gear myself, so like you guys definitely would know about that a little bit better than me. I just happen to be borrowing my buddy's bass amp, and I haven't fucking turned this thing on since I moved in, but I probably should.
Nice.
Well, I mean, at least somebody out there will know what we're saying. So we can start from we've been recording on like pretty broken instruments for a while, which is kind of weird to say. Like our instruments are broken in various ways to where they're just kind of cheap instruments. But recently, like he got this white guitar, right? And
here it is.
Like right after I recorded, I can't remember what I recorded. I think it might have been Necrothuggin, something. We recorded more stuff. Like we have material that still is coming out with the old bass, but at one point my truss rod broke, and I can fix my truss rod, but it's a lot of work, especially because it's lacquered over. It's a lot of technical stuff. It's a really hard lacquered over custom bass, so I'd have to like really struggle to get that off, and I didn't have the time or money for that. And not that this was necessarily a more monetarily, efficient thing to do, but he had just gotten a new instrument, and I did, and so. Derek was just basically
I want a new
instrument.
Look at this thing. One pickup. This thing's fucking dope.
That's all you need.
It's an ESP LTD made in Korea. It's called an Arctic metal, and it's got a Seymour Duncan blackened black winner in the bridge. And you'll hear it finally when we release the new stuff that comes out in May. Because like we said, Necrothuggin was like, we just got our new instruments. Can we retrack it? Should we like redo our DIs? And we're just like, it's our final farewell with the bad instruments.
Right.
Like I recorded that with like an Ibanez, like a 200 $50 Ibanez. Like the debut was with that. The other one, like maybe $350.
That bass that I recorded with, though, that bass was the same thing I used for everything I've ever recorded for. So that was kind of like a very significant changing point for me because I had never that was like my recording bass, you know. So that was a weird experience, but yeah. So he uses that, and then now I use an EHB.
I mainly write on
left-handed, bass guitar. It's one of the newer models, Seafoam Green. I know everybody's basically seen it at this point if you've been like looking, but it's that headless bass.
It's really pretty.
It's got Bartolini pickups. I forget which ones, but like every Bartolini pickup is amazing. So you can't really go long.
And then we have a new toy coming very soon.
Yeah, and then as far as for me is concerned, we actually recently hit up
this is a cool story.
This is a very cool story. Yeah, so we actually recently hit up the dude that mixed not only Flesh God Apocalypse but Vomit the Soul, which is my biggest, like one of my biggest bass influences, especially in tone. And Derek basically asked him, what's that? And he got back to us with extremely detailed information to the point of hilarity, to the point of like, this is exactly what we did. Here's the microphone setting. We were like, wow, it's amazing. Like, what's his name? Stefano, right? Isn't that what his name is?
Stefano.
Shout out to
Morabito.
Morabito. Yeah. I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah, we are very sorry if we're pronouncing that. Oh my God, it should be here February.
Stefano.
February 19th.
But we bought a Mark bass called S450, and it's basically the same tonal head that Vomit the Soul used. And that also helps me a lot because I don't have a combo amp. I don't and I need a head for traveling because we travel with just our heads. We bring our heads everywhere, and we use house equipment. Is generally what we try to do.
Okay. Bro, we'll be here in 6 days.
Really, that quickly? Holy
shit. It says
shit.
Monday, February 19th right now.
Well, you're going to see more about that sooner than later then, Sean.
Yeah. But yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, other than that,
we had to play that show, so we had to bring, they were like, oh, you just bring your heads, and we're like, well, he has a combo, so we were like, just fuck, what head, should we buy? We were looking at cabs shit, and I was like, I'm a member of URM Academy, really great place for learning, recording, and all that stuff. So I went in there and I posted in there, and then I looked up like who recorded the Vomit the Soul thing, and he was a member. So I just messaged him, and yeah, just great detail, told me everything, told me exactly what it was. And I looked on reverb.com, and there was one, and it was in Italy. That's it. Vomit the Soul is from Italy, I believe. Right. Stefano's in Italy. And I'm like, is this like from them? Like,
it'd be cool if it was the one they used, but I doubt it. I keep saying press X to doubt.
Yeah, so. we don't know for sure. We're just
head though. It's such a specific head.
It's so specific. There's not a lot of them, man.
Yeah, it's very. There was one on Reverb.
Sure the company made more than one.
There was one available. Period. It was like $400, and I was just like, cash money now.
Yeah.
I messaged Tristan like later, like, happy birthmas.
Well, yeah, he did. Well, and
he's just like, what the fuck?
And then Derek, not to cut you off, but Matty isn't here, but he uses an 8-string Kiesel headless.
Yeah.
And both of our amp heads is 5150s, right?
No,
except
I use a 65. Yeah, 6505 plus, and he uses just a normal 6505.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I have
I don't know why I say 5150. Fucking
I have like a Maxon overdrive that's like a red pedal, and he has a Maxon overdrive that's a green pedal. And we use,
but that's about it. That's all that we use right now.
Yeah, so, noise suppressor and tuner.
Yeah,
that's pretty much the gig.
And then our cabs, which we prefer the Vader cab greatly. So
yeah, I love my Vader cab. We need to get another one for Maddie.
Yeah, yeah. And
shout out Maddie, we love you.
Shout out Maddie, we wish you were here.
Yeah,
yeah.
I do
funny
too.
Dude.
He would make us all look ugly by comparison. He's so handsome.
Because he's beautiful. Yeah,
he's so beautiful.
Although he says it about me, so it's always like, no, stop it, you.
Yeah, they share their side of the stage. I have my side of the stage.
Yeah,
I put them together.
That's rhythm side, though.
Is my side?
You're mid, bro. You're front and center. You're glorptacular.
So,
I was like, I'm not mid. I'm top tier. Fuck you.
Mid.
This is my new toy. It's an
member podcast. Okay.
935 with some grip tape added to it.
What?
And this is what I've been using to perform and then record my scratch vocals and stuff. And it's awesome. Having wireless is awesome. I don't think I'll ever go back.
I don't think I would either. Like, honestly, I'm still pretty adamant about doing bass and and vocals. So until Blind is like Muse level, you know, I'm gonna have to be in front of a mic at least for a second, and then I can start like fucking dancing around with the bass and just like smacking the shit out of it. But
all pre-production for Invirulant is done with Jin bass. Just
Nice.
gotta say that. I love Jin bass. It's pretty much Tristan in a box.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Lit.
they had to have modeled it after me, man. I'm telling you.
Dude, they just came out with Jin 2, and like it's so much better, and I don't want to spend the money because it's just pre-pro. But damn.
No, it's funny
so
because
good.
we do really like it and it sounds good, but every time I get on it, it sounds drastically different. So you could definitely tell like the difference between real bass and that. That thing cannot slap for shit. You cannot replace a slap bassist. It's impossible.
Jin bass 2 can.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah,
it's not gonna sound like mine. You
can't replace me. Like program it perfectly.
Like what the fuck is his name? I'm trying to remember the dude that beat the railroad machine. Fuck you guys. Someone knows what I'm talking about, and they're like, "Yeah, dude, I know what you're saying." He like beat the rail. They brought the railroad machine. It was like he beat him with the hammers. Like fucking went hard, bro. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna beat the machine. My bass playing. I'm gonna out slap the machine.
Yeah,
that is a really good song title.
One of the next songs we got coming out is called Clank Pilled, and we made sure that he clanked the shit out of that bass. So
it is.
Yeah, he's like, this song called Clank Pilled, and I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta go hard. It's big clanking.
It's
big
large.
You know what they say?
Large clank
big
energy.
Clank. Yeah, not big clank.
Yeah. Show, can you give us a turkey? Nope. Still too powerful.
Too powerful. He can do the other vocals, but it's always the turkey that's too much, I guess.
Can you do a quiet turkey?
He's like, no.
That bro.
Nope.
You can feel it though. That's the funny part. If you were to like listen to that part of the podcast and just turn it up and listen to the bass, you could hear the that just happens,
yeah,
which is ridiculous.
No, I can hear it. Like the system it's like, oh, too much reverberation, so it like automatically cancels it out. But that's insane. And like the fact that the last 2 times that you guys have played live, because you guys played at a brand new venue right here in Phoenix not too long ago, and I was like, okay, I'm going to that, and then like,
oh shit, you're coming to Pathology, right?
I'm pretty sure I will be. Like, I'm so tired of like saying I'm gonna go and then
I'll be at Pub Rock. It will be at like a really nice venue with monitors and like good sound. Like,
no, I've been to Pub Rock.
We just played out in California and we sounded great out there. So
yeah,
we're really like kind of hyped on like trying to keep that level of professionalism up.
No, I'm dude. I don't even care anymore. I'm making the plans. I'm coming out May 3rd to see you guys play at Pub Rock because I'm very familiar with the venue.
My man.
We have tickets for sale on Bandcamp. Go buy it now.
I would. I'm currently broke. But
anyone listening?
Yes.
Anyone listening? Tickets available on our Facebook. You'll see a Bandcamp link. It's in www.invirulant.bandcamp.com/merch, and you will see a link for Pathology Necrotic Gore Beast tickets. Click that, and you can get yourself your pre-sale tickets.
Good shit. And
it'd be fun to play with Sadomasochist again.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I fucking love Sado. I've loved those dudes since like 2009. Those are the homies.
Fuck yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Back on track, everyone.
You're good. I did want to say too that I'm looking into networking with Necrotic Gore Beasts as well, and it's super sick that they're coming through town because I know they're not from here. They're at least
super nice.
We played with them at CDF. They're all super nice guys.
Yeah.
I look forward to hosting them on the show. Shout out to Necrotic Gore Beasts for
fucking
sure.
Brutal.
Yeah, they're pretty fucking great.
They hit up Disorder like years ago. Like, you're great. And I'm like, no, you're fucking great. It's so funny. I told them I was gonna get. It's funny because it's been going on for like a while now. But I told them I was gonna hook up with Disorder stuff, and then Disorder just kind of didn't do anything. So I never had anything to bring them. So every time I see them, I'm like, hey guys, I'm sorry. You're so good though.
You're so good. You're so yummy.
I'm sorry, I Tristan.
Yeah, for real. That bassist is great though.
Oof.
Wow.
Fuck yeah. So let's see. I mean, we more or less did cover the first question, and then we got through the second question. So, I mean, really, one thing we could do is cover question 3, and like, let's see if you guys have updated your 5 character slots since the last time we had you on the show. Like, as far as albums, people, artists, like whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Here we go,
I forgot
show.
about that.
Yeah.
Let's go, King.
Who, me?
Yeah,
Oh,
you.
Yeah. Yeah,
The king,
you're
bro.
5 people.
Yes, Papa Show.
Yeah.
Yes.
So my shit right now has been 100% focused on CKB shit.
Right.
So I've been focusing on those artists, listening to that music, focusing on trying to get merch designs and websites and
I would say real quick, 1 second.
stuff.
Sean, do you know what CKB is or no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Kill brutality.
yeah, we've got a release from Parasitic Embodiment. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Not yet.
There's a new release.
We did the mix for that, right?
Yeah.
You and me, we kind of double teamed it.
We did, and I think it came out really, really good. The vocalist is a friend of mine, and so it was a lot of fun to work on his stuff, not mine.
Yeah.
You know, you get like
he's a great vocalist,
you
dude.
get Turkey Blinders.
Dude, shout out Drake. Been day 1.
We love you, Drake.
Yeah.
Drake Gamble.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know Drake Gamble.
Yes. Also from Necrophilic Beatdown, correct?
Yeah.
Necrophilic Beatdown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sick.
He's a homie.
Yeah, NB, and then now he's got Parasitic Embodiment.
Okay. Sick.
PE is like old school deathcore, but like with all gutturals.
Ooh. Okay.
It's pretty sick stuff. I was when I was mixing it, I was like, oh.
Yeah, all of us are just sitting there like this. It's easy.
But I was
to
mixing
get
it on
lost in
Shope's
there.
computer, so it was like a very different experience for me. I was just in town recording vocals or something. I don't remember. And he was like, "Hey, look at this mix I've done." And I'm like, "Please let me do something to this."
We were recording Trauma Cycle.
Oh, was it then?
Yeah, it was just recently.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Yeah, that.
We've been there a lot.
We have
recently, dude.
another.
We have been there a lot.
Yeah.
So it all
we
kind
have
of blurs
another one
together.
Called, I think it's Austerity of Amaya. And that's like a black and deathcore thing. And so I've been like trying to get that, you know, in my free time, listening to that a lot, trying to figure out how to get that put together. And then obviously listening to all the Invirulant stuff, because trying to actual write lyrics and not just and it's like,
yeah.
It takes a lot more thinking.
Right.
We might lean towards more go back to some slam style stuff just for like some newer stuff. We're not exactly sure right now, but we definitely want catchphrases.
Well, that's something that I took from Blocka is, you know, make really simple, repeatable phrases, and then you can use them in every song, and it just like drives that vernacular home.
Yeah.
Blocka
squad, bow, bow, bow.
By the way, I wanted to mention, Brandon, I loved your feature on the Vile Revelation track. Heard that yesterday.
Yeah, did you get to hear it? Yeah, so
Good.
that was so much fun. That was another one.
Back
It's
and
like
forth.
when I did that feature, I listened to that shit for like a week straight and nothing but, and it was like, you know, the leisurely listening to music at this point is like I listen to more music as like a job. It's like I have to.
I love how the answer has pretty much stayed the same. Like, who do you listen to? The homies. It's just the homies. Like
The homies.
the
keep
list of the
growing.
homies has grown.
Yeah.
Well, Sean, let
but
me,
yeah,
let
well,
me,
the Vile thing was cool because it was so out of genre.
Yeah. That was my
And-
favorite part about it too.
And
What's up,
like,
Tristan?
no, I was gonna say, Sean, rephrase the question again, because it's not what we're listening to now. It's right, or is that what that was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Who's
cool.
your, like,
I couldn't remember. I
your
thought it was
top
all
album,
time,
top
but you're right.
band,
Keep going.
Right.
top single, top artist, right?
Yeah, something like that. Basically, like what you've been frequenting as of recently, like maybe some influences that are coming into Invirulant that are newer, maybe you've been just like relentlessly just beating the shit out of as far as streaming numbers on Spotify or something like that. Like maybe even your top album of 2023 because it's still pretty early in the year, like whatever the fuck, that type of stuff.
The new Deso, I think we all agree is probably one of our top favorites.
Absolutely.
Shout out Desoectomy. I
It
fucking
was
love
really
that
cool being able to see them live. Richard is an amazing vocalist. He's got this whistle to his tone that's like ear splitting, like
very consistent too.
Whistle. Yeah, and consistent. And I was like, damn, dude. It was cool. It was really
also
cool.
Such performers, like they know what they're doing up there. They get a crowd moving. They have like really great interaction. Like
especially
I feel like we can.
Yeah, the drummer.
Oh yeah, I feel like we can learn a lot from just playing
Our
more with
our
them.
drummer could learn a lot from them.
Yeah, our drummer can learn a lot from it.
Wait, you boys have a drummer now?
No, that was a joke.
That's the
joke.
Okay.
Like, shut up! It's a joke.
No, I mean we had someone offer, but the fact of the matter was,
and I think
we would have had to spend.
We can talk about that, right? So our friend Vile from Torso Fuck wanted to play drums with us, and he started learning all the songs, but really the logistics of being in Finland, right? Or is it Finland?
It's Finland.
Yeah, it is Finland.
It just
shout out Vile. I fucking love you. I love you to death.
Be able to come out and play shows, and our guarantees barely gas money, like not international flights.
He wanted to come and play the festival with us really bad, and we wanted him to. He was learning sax. He sent us videos of him playing. We're just like, wow.
He's got them. So like if we ever go to Europe, like we have a session drummer.
Yeah, we're solid. We're solid down there. Or up there, I should say.
But as far as someone here stateside, I don't know why it's so dangle hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. I keep getting comments like it's too robotic, and I'm just like, I don't know, play better.
It's not my fault.
Not my fault.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all metal drums kind of have that, like, I mean, isn't that what makes them sound cool? Is like it's like it sounds like a giant mechanical centipede. Like
it's like, oh, I don't know. Listen to Infinite Annihilator. Yeah, is that human enough for you? Listen to Beneath the Massacre. Listen to Rings of Saturn. I mean, like Rings of Saturn.
Yeah.
Listen to Rings of Saturn. It's like,
let's be honest. There's a reason that Infinite Annihilator has never really toured physically.
They can't. I mean, they admit it. So
yeah,
they can't do that. They can barely play a show of it.
Exactly. Like same.
Case in point, some people bitching about our drums, but then going and sucking the dick of Infinite Annihilator. It's like,
hot
meat kettle.
Yeah. Say, though, a drummer for indie has a really big seat to fill.
Yes.
Just because of the production quality that we've all gotten accustomed to. And so it's like now it's like the bar is set super fucking high.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to be like I don't know. They're gonna have to really.
I mean, it's always been high, though. To be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I have homies and stuff I've talked to, and they're like trying to learn the material, but they're basically stuck right now learning the debut, and I'm like, dude, I've written 4 albums past that.
Right.
I don't know how you're gonna catch up. Like, but we'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah.
But again, shout out Deso. They were fucking amazing.
Oh wait, you might be muted, Sean.
Yeah.
I might.
And
guys,
going back to NB, Necrophilic Beatdown.
That release was so good.
Super solid. Great artwork, great production, great performance.
Webka
did
a great job on that.
A lot of fun to do that feature.
I can only imagine. I'm like, I basically, Brandon O'Neill pitched the idea that like basically from now on I do podcast sessions and like basically the bands I host, right? Whether it be early in time, way before the album releases, or like a little bit after the album releases, we listen to the album in session and then start the podcast. I'm like, you know what? I think that would be a lot less taxing than me trying to listen to an album every fucking morning. It's like once I get into session with the band, whether it's released or not, then we can go ahead and sit down. We can listen to it. That'll be more intimate, like kind of firsthand impression. They get to simply listen to the product instead of having to worry about like, oh, this sounds like shit. Maybe they can even review it, like depending on how early in time it is. And then, well, I have a front to back session with the band that's like, not gonna lie, a little bit more clickbait, but not too much. Upload that to Sean Cross and then do the podcast. I'm like, you know what? You just saved me so much time. You pitched the idea to me. I'm doing that from now on. And that's kind of been the process. So speaking more specifically for Necrophilic Beatdown, that's definitely what I plan to do. I'm not touching any material for any of the bands that I'm planning on hosting on the show, unless if they're personally reaching out to me and they're like, hey, can you listen to a couple songs? I'm like, okay, I can listen to possibly 3 songs if I like the first one. And then we can kind of move on from that process. It's just like, it's so much less stressful and like time.
That's cool though.
That way.
Yeah, I respect that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Everyone on the CKB is worth listening to, though. I'll tell you right now. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
we miraculously got some
nice friend group.
Yeah, we got Maggot King on there now.
I saw that.
Yeah, those are the homies. I love them. Like, they're killing it.
And
it's kind of hard for me to like think of like 5. Like, I'm trying to think of the 5 things too, and it's like the things that come up for me. It's like I wish I could uplift the homies a little bit more too, but
and if
anything, I definitely think. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. I was just about to say, like, you know, with the CKB and stuff, like I'm kind of seeing it as both a merch distributor, like, you know, you're making merch for all these bands associated with it. Are you guys attempting to like make a record label and then have like be signed to Inherited Suffering Records? Like, what's going on with that?
No, I don't want to compete with that. Right, labels have their own space that they fill. This is a subsidiary to that. It's like you go to your label, they give you a certain amount of things, and you're like, well, that's great, but I wish I had like 1 or 2 more, and that's something that we can help with.
I kind of call it a band supplement.
Oh,
yeah,
if that makes sense, you know,
for all the things that you might need in addition to what you're already doing.
That's fair.
So like having someone that you can go to for video, someone that you can go to for illustration, someone that you can go to for mixing and mastering, someone that can help you do advertising, and you know, whatever it is.
A big problem with
you have this friend network that can
connect. That's the word I was going to use.
Yeah,
connect whoever it is that you're looking for.
One of the bigger problems with the industry as a whole, whether it be small scale and or large scale, is just knowing the correct people. A lot of the times it's like that's one of the biggest complaints about a lot of people is there's a lot of talented people, but they don't know, there'll be bands that sound identical. One band skyrockets, the other doesn't. How does that happen? Well, it just knew the right people. It's a sad reality, but it is what it is. And we're sort of trying to minimize that. And it sounds like a brag when we say it that way, but it's like, oh, once you do that, you have contact with way more people that are not only in the CKB. It's like we're friends with Seppo, we're friends with a lot of people. And so somebody on the CKB is like, I really want Angel. And it's like, oh, yeah, no problem. We'll hit him up like right now. We'll let you know what he says. And that's generally out of reach for people, or for people that don't have the confidence to do it. There's a lot, whether it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the reason is. The matter is, it's like, go focus on writing your music. That's more or less what we try to focus on. And that's why I call it a band supplement. Because it's like your job was never supposed to be to peddle shirts and be this and that. Your job was supposed to make music. And while we can't eliminate entirely that off of you, we can't replace your manager and your label. We can do as much as we can to make them not do so much for you, because labels will end up fucking you over a lot. And I'm not saying that because we're fucking slighting labels. It's because there's just a lot of bad deals that people just sign without thinking about it at all. We offer legal advice in that regard too. Hey, this is what this record label said to us. We're like, no, this is not, you need to demand this and this and this. And then they say no every time. And we're like, well, then they can't provide for you, because the entire point of this and this and this is to do that. And you may think, oh, you're fucking them out. It's like, no, a lot of the times these deals are like, all right, we'll print your shit and you'll get nothing. It's like, why would you sign that? Don't sign that. Please don't sign that. And that's why bands don't go anywhere. That's why how bands end up sitting on a band camp in some random fucking label and not going anywhere.
Exactly.
We're trying to circumvent that, but without slighting or going against the labels, because they, like I said, they have their, or like he said, they have their own space. We can't necessarily replace that without taking him up on it direct head to head as our own label.
But you're trying to
Tristan,
the process.
Tristan and Brandon are the two guys that kind of run that space. So they will be talking about that.
yeah, it's something that me and him work on a lot. The CKB records part of the records refers to recordings, which we didn't want to call it recordings. It's just easier to call it CKB records and everything, but that's more or less what it refers to. The eventuality is, Derek's a mixer and a master. I'm a producer and an engineer. We have all the ingredients. We just got to get there eventually, which we already kind of have. Like we were talking about parasitic embodiment. I wasn't involved in that, but Derek and Brandon did that,
You were there in the room. I definitely asked you a lot of questions. I was like, hey, what do you think about this?
That doesn't count. That's not really direct. That still fulfills my job as an engineer, because that's technically what my title is to Derek. In Derek's terms, I'm what is called an audio engineer assistant, which sounds like a lower thing, but I do all a bunch of shit he does not want to do.
He does all the grunt work that I don't want to do.
Yeah,
he edits all the
complete waste of time for him. And I can do it.
I move faders. I just move the faders and make everything sound vibing and good.
Yeah,
I don't want to worry about all the ingredients. We just got to get more people. We don't have like a discography. I can be like, check this out. At me personally, I have a shit ton of credits. But that's not enough. That's not enough. I can't be like, I did bass on this and recorded vocals on this. That's not like, those are creditations, but those aren't mixing and mastering credits to present to a customer. Like, hey, we want this back. So we do offer different services. We do offer mix and mastering services, but like I said, it's weird because it's not a label.
Yeah, fair enough. Because like I've seen a lot of like kind of outliers in our world, in our music world, on the more business side, like Reality Fade Records. I've never really understood if they're exclusively a merch distributor, because then you go to the albums that are releasing and being promoted or having merch distributed by them, and then the label will say like Reality Fade Records. So it's like, okay, you guys are a merch distributor and a label, like,
a lot of the times. So you're talking about a network linking, and that does it a lot. You'll notice that. So say you buy from like Severed Records, you go on to severedrecords.com, you'll scroll through it, you'll see a bunch of different stuff, ISR stuff like that. That's because they have prior agreements. That's actually what we're talking about. It's something that you get into it, and it's basically like, okay, how deep in business do you want to talk? Not necessarily me and you, but just in general.
Right.
That's like, that is how it surfaces. It's the conversations like that. That's exactly what it is.
Tristan, Inherited gave our stuff to what label? Because there's places that have Invirulant stuff, right?
Vial tapes and stuff like that. I'll have we're not necessarily saying that that's a bad thing. We're saying that there is a lot of examples of it that is bad, to where it's like, why does everybody and their mom have records of our CD except for me? Except for our band, and I think like a good example of that is Angel Splitter. Angel Splitter was kind of like a big learning thing for me. Me and Merrick from Angel Splitter learned a lot from doing Angel Splitter in a lot of ways that, like, I still don't have an Angel Splitter CD. Like, yeah, I could just go buy one, but it's like, I don't know how that ends up happening. It's like and it's because, certain people, again, Merrick is not meant to be 30 fucking people. He's meant to be Merrick. Merrick is supposed to write fucking Angel Splitter. He's not supposed to do all these other things. And I wish I would have been able to provide more for him at that time, kind of thing. But that's a perfect example of it. How many bands and artists do you know that don't even have their fucking record in their hand?
Yeah, exactly.
You'd be shocked. And if you don't know, ask them. You'll be fucking absolutely mind blown. Being on people that are like, yeah, I don't have one. Like, yeah, they sent me a shirt.
Or people who want, merch and stuff like that. I just know that we're trying to offer something to an industry that we see people are like being held down. It almost seems like people are like, we don't have the upfront capital for this. We don't have this. We don't have that. And we're like, okay,
communication skills to go back and forth, kind of thing. So Reality Fade is a record label. They are, but they have so much because they started as a merch thing, it became a record label, and now they're distro and record label. So they do merch for other people. That's similar to
the guy, right?
But they're an official. Yeah, well, we've been on there before. It's Vial Impregnation. So like, that's kind of exactly what I'm talking about, Sean. It's like, I'm in CKB. I may not be. I mean, I'm kind of the front of it. Derek, Brandon is the front of it, not Derek. But you know what I mean? It's like, I know a lot of those people, and if they ever come to me, I need this contact, and I've worked with, I don't even know how many labels. I can't even, I could try to list them off, but I literally don't even know. CDN, Reality Fade, Brutal Mind, like list them. I've worked with
I do
you know what I mean? I can contact them. So
This is my
but that's
expertise.
like a weird thing that people don't. I never. It was hard to like. You can't advertise that. Like, what do you go? You go on your social media and you're like, I'm a fucking big dog. I know everybody. Hit me up, yo. No, you can't do that. You have to like. You have to make it an official way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to make it like an official channel for them to be like, we need this and that, and then somebody will get to it.
Exactly.
Which is, I wish it was more paid work in that regard, but it'll get there eventually. In the sense
Yeah.
that like money circulation has to start slow. Definitely
Exactly.
does. It always does.
So if I may, I definitely did want to bounce back to the second part of question one, because like basically you guys talked about the creative process and the lessons that you guys have learned with the creative process. But if anything so far, like post Indomitable Worldwide Slandemic and after Necrothuggin, being that you guys have 4 albums ready to go. Well, not ready to go, but they're in the working process, and you guys are just cranking overtime, right? What lessons have you guys learned that you wish to share with the Invirulants, like since then, or like up to this point? What lessons have you learned specifically
That's a good question.
Maybe things that have gone wrong or whatever.
Don't force something to be something that it won't, that it shouldn't be. If you're writing a song and it naturally feels like it comes to an end, accept that the song ends there. If you want something to otherwise to happen, like if you want to mess around with songwriting and structure and stuff, you can play around. But if something feels like legitimately like, oh wow, that was like the ending, let it be the ending.
Yeah.
Trying to force the square circle through the round circle through the square peg, it's only going to get you so far.
Yeah.
And I think also a big thing I learned was like stop. I don't want to say stop caring about what your contemporaries are doing, but make sure that like you're doing something that you want to do because you want to do it. My dog is now whining.
I think that a good bit of
Griff,
advice that I'd like to give people, because a lot of the, I'm an EDM producer too, and a lot of the videos in the whole span of the sphere, whether it be EDM or mixing, they all say things that work in specific scenarios and niches and are meant to teach a lesson that people take too literally. And what I mean so what I'm getting at here is that you don't need to record 4 guitar tracks for your band. Okay, like if you sit there and you try to quad track your guitars and it sounds, terrible, or you quad track your vocals because XYZ told you to, you don't need to do that. Like, there are techniques for mixing that you would use to produce your music, but you don't have to follow one or the other like a Bible. You have to do what you want to sound like.
Yeah.
So, for example, a lot of vocalists, like I prefer recording Brandon in fat mono. That's what we call it. Right.
Big mono.
The difference between mono and layered stuff can be apparent when you listen to the debut and you listen to Necrothuggin. Necrothuggin is all layers. Everything is layered double over. Not in layered vocals wise, but also like there's double takes. Everything is double tracked and stuff like that. Right. You don't have to do that. Just because someone that you look up to and says that that's how you'd make a good mix said that doesn't mean that you have to do it. If that guttural sounds good in mono, slap it on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's a pretty niche thing. That's a very brutal death metal, very metal thing. So, but I would say that that's, for the people looking to do that. You don't always have to follow those things to a T.
Another big thing I would say is make sure everyone is on the same page with especially like people who record themselves, whether it's a guitarist or a vocalist or a bass player or anything. Naming conventions are very important. Make sure we follow naming conventions and keep files where they're supposed to be, and everything's really clearly understood, not only by the band, but the mixing engineer, what we want. Like more communication with the person mixing and mastering. Thinking that they know what you want is just a road to failure.
Everybody's always afraid to overwhelm the mixer, okay? But most of the time when you give them such small amount of notes, they don't even have anything to go off of, and it's because you didn't give them enough to go off of, but it's because you were afraid to give them 3 paragraphs.
Right.
3 paragraphs ain't nothing for a mixer.
Also,
okay.
speak layman's terms and like a musician when you're speaking to a mixer. I've tried using like mixing terms to like try to convey something, and it we got better results when we just were no brain, big dumb, like, we don't like this, we think this should do this. And he's like, all right, bet. Versus me being like, I think you're over compressing this, and maybe the high pass, you'd just be like, bro, just tell me what you don't like, and then I can fix it.
Yeah, fair enough.
So for example, don't say I need the bass turned up, say I can't hear the bass. That allows the mixer to solve his own problem.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds weird, but just saying turn up the bass, like they may do that anyway, but the way that you're wording it would be different. It just goes a lot smoother, you know.
You trying to pinpoint a way for them to solve the problem isn't the way they're going to solve the problem. So they don't even.
So
yeah, it's like an algebra equation.
Give them a generality.
Yeah. You got to simplify the language that you are utilizing to communicate creative adjustments.
Yes, and we are very
nice.
thankful for Wekta's patience and everything with Necrothuggin. As he said, growing pains the EP, like
For
it
real,
was
100%.
It was a long process, but it's done, it's out, people like it, and you know, that's kind of what all that matters to us, is that we like it, other people like it, it's fun. You know, it was definitely a step in a different direction. Necrothuggin to us was an experiment in both songwriting and going as over the top as humanly possible. We wanted Shob's vocals to be so just over the top that people couldn't ignore it, you know?
Well, you know, on that note, actually, did you learn anything, Brandon?
Who, me?
Yeah. Did you learn any good lessons while we were recording you, or you were recording yourself?
You know, a lot of people ask me for advice on vocals and stuff. Just like, you know, what things work and what things don't. And I always, you know, think about technique, but really it's not technique. It's getting that tush time where you get comfortable recording and you can know what sounds good and what doesn't sound good, and how you like your delivery to sound. And you know, if anyone's looking for advice on how to sound good, just practice recording yourself over and over until you find out, like, oh, hey, like this thing that I've been trying to do really doesn't work, you know, or like, hey, this thing that I didn't even realize was, you know, a thing sounds incredible, and so I'm going to start doing that now.
And that's just doing the homework, putting the time into it.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's no way to get around it. Like, I've always just been a performing vocalist. It's like you go to practice, you sing the songs, you go to play the shows, you sing the songs, you go to record and you sing the song. But like to write and like be involved in the writing process and be like, all right, I'm going to try and do a verse in this style, and I'm going to try and do a verse in this style, and like being able to sit and work on things and then present it to the band and be like, all right, guys, what do you think about this? And then they'll be like, well, I like this and this and this, but this one didn't hit so hard. And I can, instead of trying to like in the moment while everyone's playing, they're like, oh, that one part that you did that thing, like, you know, it's a lot easier to communicate it when it's, I don't know, in a recorded format.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I understand where you're coming from. And I can definitely say that since I first started doing vocals, because that's really more or less where I can kind of relate and offer some advice and just provide my own story a little bit. What I can say is that I've been doing vocals for about 8 years now, if not a little bit over that. Like, I've been doing this shit for a long time, and I remember how cringy and just fucking scene emo I sounded back in the days. Like, you know, whatever. But then eventually, at the time, because I had no money, listening to specifically Wage War's Deadweight. So I'm very much a metalcore bass vocalist, or at least I was in the first place, because I was inspired by bands like Asking Alexandria, Wage War, Beartooth, whatever. That helped me unlock my singing capabilities, but it also helped me bounce back and forth between heavies and cleans. But not only that, but kind of, and also really just like high, like really, really high singing, really whiny singing. So by doing that, and by doing the homework for years on end, even scaring the shit out of my high school teachers who happened to live in the same neighborhood and who were walking down the street with her husband and her dog, I'm over here just like whatever, scaring the shit out of them. And they're like, Sean, And I'm like, oh, hi, Miss whatever. And like just wide-eyed, just freaking guppy-eyed. It was the funniest shit ever. Doing the homework, walking around, also doing some cardio with all of that. I called them vocal walks back in the day. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I scared shitless by doing what I did. Because half the time I'm just walking down a fucking street and people are taking a jog, they're walking back to their house from the gas station, whatever it could be. I tried to not care so much because quite literally I wasn't causing any physical harm to anybody. Maybe every now and then I looked like a cracked out homeless dude or something, but I was baby faced, right? So it's like, like going to get my monster and people are like, oh, he's on drugs. And, they walk past or whatever. Like,
I feel like that's another part of lesson for like us was like understanding how things translate live. And yeah, it sounds cool in a record to layer like, 8,000 things and get this big sound or like this like monster thing, but can you do it live? And it's like, well, fuck. And how do you supplement that? So
yeah,
what we learned, I think, a lot, and what you'll see on the new stuff, Tristan doing a lot of the backup and Shobe doing a lot of the forward and stuff, and then like,
well, because that's
really
realistic.
The interplay of what we can perform live.
Yeah.
Well, that was a big takeaway. Is like I realized once it stopped being a live song, and it was like a studio song. I was like, all right, well, cool. Then I can do all the studio tricks. And it's like, well, that's cool, but don't write like that, because when you write that way, it makes it a lot harder to perform. It's easier to write it like a live song and then dress it up with all the studio effects.
Yeah.
So like now it's basically fat mono with a couple gang vocals.
Yeah.
Or like a
which to me, which is always a personal thing, but to me personally, as the engineer and the dude recording, I like that sound so much better than like 8 layers.
It sounds cleaner.
It just doesn't sound right to me when people do a lot of that shit, especially like when they try to go perform it live, and that's what makes it disappointing. We're almost like the opposite, if that makes sense. It's like that's exactly what it sounds like, and we're trying to get an exact sound, which I think people have got away from that.
I recorded Hard in the Paint, and Hard in the Paint just blew my whole idea of what a vocal should be.
I can see that.
He's got his main vocal, but then literally every breath is filled up with some hype, either a bow or a flocka or a squad. And so on that, I mean, I think there's like 15 or that one has like 15 or 16 takes. It's got a ton because there's just like shit just going the whole time.
There's a lot.
When I was trying to mirror the way that the original was recorded, I was like, oh shit. And then I went back and started adding in all these hype. That was our Riz period. I was adding all the Riz tracks.
That's what he called them. I was just getting like folders of Riz tracks. So it'd be like our first song, and then we tracked when Thrice did like their anniversary thing in the marquee for the Artists in the Ambulance. I came to town. We tracked all of the things for Necrothuggin, is what it would be now, and we had everything done, but we were unhappy, or I don't know if it was necessarily but I felt Shobe might have been unhappy. Just it wasn't done. So then we started layering on all these other vocals to try to fix a problem that we were uncomfortable. We didn't feel correct with, and that's where a lot of the sound of Necrothuggin really came from, was being like, okay, what we did we weren't really happy with, so we're gonna just layer all this shit, make it just go over the top, just like
fair enough,
like Flocka.
Here, I think of a good way to word everything that we're trying to say, because we all I think we're all saying a similar lesson that we learned, but we're just not wording it correctly. Remember that you're writing music, and when you're recording that music, it is supposed to still sound like music, right? Like that is the thing that we're getting at here. That's the difference between like the 4 vocal tracks and the 1 vocal track. The 1 vocal track sounds exactly like him, while 4 doesn't, and that compounds over and over. So I think that's majorly like what we're all trying to say in different ways, is like you're writing music, be sure to try to capture your best performance of that music. You're not trying to recreate what you wrote. You're trying to capture what you wrote.
Yeah,
That's like
yeah.
the difference, right? You're not digitally recreating the song. You're going, this is what Brandon sounds like. You know what I mean?
And that's always good. Like for me, it's very important that when it comes to a band recording any material, whether it be a standalone single, an EP, or an album, my least favorite thing is when they build such standard, right? They build such like the hype is there, right? But at the end of the day, it's not realistic for them, and per se, they're just getting started out. Like they play live and they're really breathy, or they're not able to do half the shit that they did in the studio. That to me, no matter what fucking genre, is my least favorite thing ever. Yeah, real breathy.
I love that you said that. No, that's the main. We talk shit on that all the time because like fry vocals are good, but fry vocals are also, that's what we're talking about. Anybody can go in front of a microphone and go like 8 times and it'll sound fucking huge. But how many people can get in front of the microphone and just go once and get like a same level of aggression in one take? Right. So that's what we're talking about. When you go and see that shit live and it's airy, it's very disappointing because they're not capturing their best performance. They're just capturing, they're just trying to recreate the song, you know?
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. Sorry, I wasn't trying to interrupt you. It's just funny that you said ready because that's like a main thing we try to avoid.
Yeah.
Yeah. An important lesson was less is more, but also more is more.
Yeah. Like
too much air is, you know.
Yeah. It's important to understand what you're capable of doing and not pushing yourself too much in the moment, and also giving yourself a little bit of challenge, because you never want to settle. Always appreciate, never settle. That's one of my biggest sayings, and it can be applied in so many different ways. It's up for interpretation, but in this scenario, it's like always appreciate what you did before, but never settle. Always appreciate what you are capable of and understand your limits, but never settle, never compromise, because that is what really allows for bands to fulfill the statement of, oh yeah, we're building our sound. We're building our, like, what makes us Invirulant, what makes us Vile Revelation. We're building our sound. Like, I don't know.
I think a very big thing of what we learned was losing like our ego, I guess. You know, really being able to collaborate, open up, make things the way we want. Not that we did that with Necrothuggin, but that we learned that that's how we want to do shit moving forward.
Right.
That we've learned that everything that we did on Necrothuggin wasn't really the best way to handle things, and moving forward, we now know what not to do.
But it's
which is funny because it doesn't sound bad. That's my point, right? It doesn't sound bad, but it's ultimately like a weird capture of our sound. I think it's like a very weird snapshot.
Hold on.
I think
Go ahead,
it is working because you look at Trauma Cycle, and Trauma Cycle went like butter. And
I don't even know what that is.
Trauma Cycle was easily as fuck.
Galactic Doinks is fucking doing the same thing. So it's like
Trauma Cycle is the name of the next thing.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Wink,
I'm
wink.
like, yeah. What is that?
Totally. No, but that's like we're not trying to mention that. That was the video you
saw me working on before we started.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like that. But we recorded that in like 2 weeks. Like, yeah, it was only 2 songs, but everything we're talking like everything was just done and easy. There was no like we have to go back in, we have to do this. Like we clearly learned from that, even if we didn't acknowledge it, which we did. But even if we didn't acknowledge it, we clearly did.
Well, the songwriting structure was tighter. The vocal delivery was tighter. The turnaround on like what we want to, like, you know, going from rough draft to final was just like so much smoother because we've kind of got this process.
It was the first time and only time I've written something as pre-production, sent it to the boys, and they're like, yeah, this fucks. I got nothing to say. And I was like,
yeah, he's very proud of that. He keeps mentioning that to me. He's like, you didn't change anything on this. And I'm like, I didn't. I didn't need to.
I passed the slam exam. I wrote a slam song. Tristan didn't have to fucking come in and be like, no, this sucks. You gotta do this. You gotta do this. Like, I literally wrote it, sent it to Shob. Shob did pre-production, sent it back, and we're just like, this is fucking sick. And I'm
proud of you, champ.
And I'm pretty sure, like, moving forward, we're gonna experience a lot more of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I hope so.
So speaking upon what would be the more band part of the podcast as per formula, we more or less did cover number one, which reads as follows: what separates Necrothuggin from Indomitable Worldwide Slandemic? It was definitely, you know, growing pains, right? That's more or less what we confirmed.
Pain.
Yeah, pain. more or less pain. But
Pain.
question two would have been, what separates Invirulant from other in the slam scene? Has your answer changed from last has your answer from last session changed really in regards to that?
What separates us is that we are both not real slam and also real slam.
Exactly. That's the joke that I'm always making. It's like we're clearly not slam, but you cannot tell us we're not because we've gone so hard and been slam that you're like, well, they clearly can. You know,
what separates us from other people, I would say, is and we were having a discussion about this with Tristan's family when we were out in California after, you know, playing the festival. We were all just getting together, just talking and stuff. And I'm just going to be honest right now. I refuse as a songwriter to do something I've already done. So it makes it very, very complicated and difficult for me to come up with unique ideas while writing a slam or something. You won't hear the similar riff. You won't hear any patterns. You'll listen to modern slam and it's like, that's a bomb boopy trinity. That's Nephrectomy. That's this, that's that. Like you can literally hear other bands in a band, the exact same riff, the exact same structure, the exact same hit, everything. I refuse to do that. And therefore that makes me not slam.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he doesn't play the slam riff.
Yeah.
I also
every slam band. Here, hum it.
Oh God. No, but like I'm the same way, so that's why we end up working well together. I can, well, it's not just that, but I easily identify whenever something's been used before. You know, like I know a lot of, not that I know, I'm not saying I know every slam riff, but I'm saying that there's like a particular sound that certain bands do. There's a particular riff that certain bands do. There's a particular vocal style that certain bands do. And you can imitate that by kind of emulating it, but not ripping it exact, because if you rip it exact, then it's just that. And a lot of people, I don't know why a lot of people don't care about differentiating it, but a lot of times I hear bands and they're exactly the same and I hate it. And that's coming from somebody who listens to slam. You know what I mean?
But I'm not talking shit or saying that that's bad. I like listening to that stuff. It hits, it fucks. I'll crowd kill all day to it. It's awesome. But me as a songwriter, I can't do that.
Right, and that's completely fine. Like there have been
it has made it really, 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 really difficult. To write for this band.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, boys, since the last time we were in session, that being at least January of last year, right alongside the session I did for Awakened Providence, which, other than Utilize the Remains, you guys, like, our session is the most listened to session. Like, I really hope we can get the first one or this one up to 90 streams on Spotify, but if not, you know, that's completely okay. I can't exactly just like freaking chokehold my audience.
We have moms that are like, I want to hear my son. So you know,
exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I only hope that people can get through our like rambling to get the point that we're making, because we all make good points eventually somewhere.
Yeah.
So on that, there's I put out a call for a AMA if there's any questions, and we had some that were kind of interesting that I wanted to bring up. So one of them was, what was the hardest song to write? And Derek had a really good answer. If you want to.
Yeah. So they asked me, what is the hardest song to write on, you know, Necrothuggin, and I said all of the songs were both easy and hard to write because we were pretty meticulous with our music. And so having to rewrite stuff is what was hard. Because most of the songs were written almost 2 years ago and shortly after the debut came out, but the versions were ultimately scrapped. I think the song that had the most changes and work done to it was Glorp Verses, originally called, during writing, Cerebral Clone.
Okay.
And for me, the hardest was probably Glorp versus the State, just because it has the most Flocka-like chorus, where I've got 4 different vocals all layered up, and it's brutal to perform. It's terrible.
Yeah,
he wrote so many overlaying parts that we have to figure out how to play live. where it's like, Mesa's hardest motherfucker, CKB, we run these, thrill you bow to the state of slam. Like,
Yeah.
It works.
I-
It sounds cool, but trying to pull it off live, it's just a nightmare. It's really hard. I have to choose what word I want to cut off or not, you know?
I know this is kind of a cop-out, but I don't have a specific song. It's not a cop-out to Derek and Brandon. They'll probably get it, but to a listener, it might be a cop-out. The whole fucking EP was a nightmare for me because I was trying to line up every fucking vocal parts. Every time Brandon's like, oh, I got all these new things, I'm like, well, I got to fucking line up to all the old things. And that was like that for every song. Glorp definitely had the most vocals. That's what they're both talking about. So I could say Glorp because that had the most vocals for sure.
And then,
especially at like the last like second, we were like listening to it, and we're like, "Will you bow to the state of slam?" Like, what if we like put out like a game?
What if we just put like a fuck ton of people?
Yeah, what if we just asked all these people?
About that. So Weta's like, well, I think I had it layered up with like 4 voices. I had it like
it was all you,
but it was all me. And we were like, I was trying to do a gang vocal.
It just didn't sound big.
Like me. And it's like, well, if you guys are trying to do a gang vocal, why don't you get the other boys to do it with you? And I was like, well, that sounds like a good idea. And then we thought, well, we've got like 3 days.
What if we ask the fans?
We've got 3 days until we have to turn this in. So like, we opened it up and started texting everybody, and that's how we got the CKB Ultra chorus with like everybody.
Yeah. I got my homie Duncan. Shout out Duncan of American Me, Hate Offering, Sacrificer, and Hard Pill up in Portland. Amazing drummer, amazing dude.
Dude, I never get to do this, but we get to mention Ryan, so I have to mention Ryan. We got my roommate and vocalist Ryan Aducci. He's
my best
I love
friend.
That man so much. He's like one of our best friends, and so we were like, "Bro, can you do this?" He's like, "I guess." Bust out a microphone.
True story. Ryan's microphone is how we recorded the debut.
The first album.
That's the whole EP.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, the whole debut is him. Yeah, was his
I only
microphone.
shouted out 2 people that were like 2 individual people on the debut and the thanks, and it was Ryan Aducci, Ryan Fingertips Aducci, and Sterling Valentine. So, but yeah, we got Ryan on it. It was great, and he got of course all his friends. Shob is like, oh, I got Andrew Cerebral, I got Angel of Cephalotripsy and Devourment.
Casual people, it's okay, no problem.
Yeah, I got Alex of Abominable Putridity, no big deal. We're just like
NBD.
What the fuck did you just say to me?
Did we have 3 AMAs, Brandon? Was it
3
of them?
And then there was
I just wanted to make sure we get all 3 of them.
Yeah, there was what's your writing process one? So we kind of already went over that.
Well,
I said lots of fighting and crying.
Yeah, we can summarize it as like we won't go.
My answer is really funny though,
but I'll summarize. Yeah, like his answer is probably more funny, but I'll summarize it quickly as basically Derek writes all the music and then he sends it to Brandon and I, who filter it in completely different ways. Like it goes through a filter, and that's what we always call it. You'll hear us, if you'll probably have heard us say this before in different interviews or whatever, but there's a strong filter, like a multi-pass filter. So you put a song in there, and whatever the fuck comes out may not be even remotely like what he sent. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but
and I wrote a song about myself.
He's really proud of that one he sent through the filter, and it came out the same. He's really proud of that one.
It's never happened before. I've sent like 40 songs.
So that's like the main, like just for anybody looking to do it, that's usually the smartest way for a band to operate. You have one person write everything and then everybody else contributes, but it's like you got to make sure that that main songwriter has his vision still there. Don't try to deviate from what the fuck he's doing. Yes. All good bands have a weaponized autistic person. I swear to God, it's a fact. Start asking them. You'll be fucking shocked. It's hysterical, dude.
I don't know why. I don't know why that's so funny.
I am autistic and I am weaponized.
Was that your answer? Is that what you meant by the funniest answer? Yeah, that's good. That's pretty much it. That's the whole writing process. So
that's going to be the working title for the episode.
Let's go. A lot of the times we'll hum riffs. Yeah, I'll mention that too. If we want to replace riffs for Derek parts, me and we'll be like, we need like a. That's why they make fun of doing that. It's because I would do that to them back in the day in the messages. And now it's more like a dig. Oh, okay. And then he would go change it. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
So that's pretty much what it was.
If it's me and Brandon, it's me and Brandon being like, "Oh, this is sick," and then Tristan being like, "None of that was sick." And if it's me and Tristan, then it's Tristan like, "This is sick," and I'm like, "That's not sick." And then I try it, and then I'm like, "Okay, it's kind of okay."
There's so many times it's not. We can't even like blame each other because it happens to us so often. Where it's like, do this. No, why would we do that? That's fucking dumb. Well, you just try it. Sure, I do it. The instant I finish, that's fucking awesome. I love that. You're like, dude,
that actually
like, shut up.
really nice.
Yeah,
recording bass is like that. I'm like, "Hey, Tristan, try this," and he's like, "No." And I'm
why
like,
would I do that?
I'm like, just fucking just try it. And he's like, "Okay, all right." Actually,
I don't
that
know
was
what lesson we're trying to say here. Sometimes your band members are right. Listen to them. I don't know. Like, I don't know what I'm
Work
trying
as
to
a
say.
team.
You know, your band members like, this doesn't fuck. It probably doesn't fuck. I'm just saying, you know.
If everybody in unison says it doesn't fuck, it probably doesn't fuck.
Pro tip, number one lesson you should always learn. Joel Wanasek said this. Write bangers.
That's it.
That's
Pro
it.
tip, write
That's
bangers.
so
That's
hard.
Write bangers. I don't give a fuck. Write a banger. Don't be an
it.
artist.
You'll know when it's a
don't
banger.
be artsy.
You'll know. Trust
Write
me.
bangers. That's all. If it's not a banger, don't.
I'm trying.
No brain. No brain. Don't try.
No brain. Write bangers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, boys, if you like Ingested, if you like Xenobiotic, if you like what's another one? Like I don't know. I know most of the boys.
You're preaching to Tristan right now.
Ah, there we go. Well, if you like Ingested, if you like Xenobiotic, you're gonna like Blind Without Our Failures in its next track. It's meant to be super fucking jumpy. Heavily inspired by Xenobiotics, The Wretched Strive, more specifically. Because I saw that video, I saw them flailing around like fucking ragdolls and shit. I'm like, that's it right there. But imagine that with a little touch of spite, Body Snatcher, and then, you know, your kind of starter kit Black and Deathcore bands. That's going to be Blind's next song. Once we re-record Error with our new frontman, which I'm very excited to announce that when we're ready to announce that. But finally seems like the band is moving somewhere after what was basically...
Whoa, okay, I'm back.
Oh.
Yeah, he dropped out for a while there.
Yeah,
sorry, buddy.
Everyone else dropped.
Welcome back.
All right, is everyone else here?
Yes.
We good?
Yeah, no, man, I'm happy to hear that. That's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
It's going to be really cool. And it's only going to be the second track, but I'm already looking into a feature. So I'm also excited for that. It's just going to be financial investments. So I'm ready for that.
That's the most fun part.
King, we know all about that.
Yeah.
Everybody ever on the Anatomy podcast knows about that.
Let's do the third AMA.
Yes. Let's do the third AMA.
Third question.
Third AMA.
I think that was it.
Oh, really?
Okay.
There was only two then?
The one we already answered.
Oh, right.
Oh, well, that's true. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so
fair enough.
All right, cool.
Oh no,
I'm glad people ask questions.
Yes,
he asked what Brandon's like influences are.
Oh, he did ask what your influences are, but we work with our influences, so it's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
Right. He literally just said my influence is just me and my friends.
Yeah, like it's literally like Angel.
Did I say that?
And Andrew. Yep. That's it. And he's like best friends with both of them, so that's how it goes.
Honestly, though, that's how it should be. Like, imagine.
I mean, that's kind of how it worked with me. I started doing vocals because of Brandon. That's kind of I probably told that story before, but yeah. Like I was in a car, Brandon did vocals. I'm like, that's fucking incredible. I'm gonna start doing that.
Brandon said a lot.
So
he said a lot of cool stuff here, though. He said he's trying to break out of the shadow of the first album. The debut was super OG Slam on purpose. Everything was dumbed down a bit for the one-dimensional Slam vibe. With the EP, I was able to branch out a bit more and play with things that were more out of pocket and typical slamming brutal death metal release, for instance, Slaring Eyes and Gang Chants. Overall, I think it opened up a lot of room for what we can realistically get away with moving forward. Already on the next albums have incorporated a lot of those techniques, but in a more integrated way. Now they're comfortable and not something so new.
So you got your answer, motherfucker.
Quote Brandon.
Yeah. Quote Brandon, Michael Scott, Wayne Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky.
Oh yeah. Well, as we're continuing to kind of chamber through these questions where we can, taking a good chunk of time, because it's been a long time since we all had the opportunity to sit down and talk. I mean, hell, we were like, if it wasn't for certain variables, I would say that we would have had the boys here in this exact same room, if things were planned a little bit better. and maybe one day we can do that. You know what I mean?
And I'm not opposed to trying to get that.
That'll happen eventually.
You guys are back in town for pathology.
Exactly, dude. That would be so.
We have a release from May, and we're playing in May, so we should probably schedule around that.
I'm down. Let's make it happen.
The nephrectomy split. So, and you can.
He said it out loud. You said the quiet part out loud, Joe.
I thought you already said it.
We've
it's
all
official
been
now,
saying
though. It's official today, technically. We just finished talking to Brutal, so.
Yeah, it's coming out on Brutal Mind. It's nephrectomy and us. We talked about nephrectomy before.
Cycle.
You didn't know who they were. I don't know if you wouldn't listen to it, but if you go listen to Meat, it's an amazing
classic.
album. It's really good. It's hardcore and slam like fucking each other in the best way possible, just like feeling flesh.
Nephrectomy has and always has had my favorite snare. That's what's even funny, like different, because they always talk about it, and I'm a fan. I'm a straight fangirl. I've listened to that. They overcome by hatred. It's either overcome from or overcome by hatred. Best slam snare that exists. You can't get better than that. Full stop.
I'll definitely have you boys link me that sometime after the session, or if any of you want to drop into chat and link me.
And then you asked both of them what their like top 5 things were.
Yes.
Like,
I didn't
they were
say
digging
anything.
with.
Yeah, you know,
Oh.
like, you guys were kind of undetermined. You're like, well, our friend.
Well, you guys just talked about CKB. Tristan, what are your like 5 things that like you?
Well,
fuck
I was
with?
gonna say I don't really like. I want to shout out people. The first people I want to shout out, the first like band I want to shout out is Headhunt.
Oh yeah,
There's some
dude,
kids
out
that we
in
played
Tucson.
with at that show.
Yeah, definitely.
And,
Incredible.
they're really good, dude. I'm trying to bring eyes to them. They deserve it. They're kids. Like their bassist is 15 and it's just great. Super nice dudes. The main guitarist reminds me of Chuck from Death. Nobody ever reminds me of Chuck from Death. Like I'm watching this kid in front of me. I'm like, this is Chuck. Like he's got the same hair. It's crazy. So yeah, you guys got to check out Headhunt. Headhunt is fucking great.
He looks like
He does. I'm trying to like that's what I was trying to say though, because we went to CKB because it's like I don't really listen to much, man. Like, but I got
everyone who
out.
gives a fuck about Invirulant needs to listen to Headhunt.
Okay,
they're the next big thing out of Arizona. I'm saying it now.
All the CKB boys, obviously. I love Deso. I want to shout out Deso. I will always shout out Xenotheory. I've been listening to them since that album dropped. I don't know if I talked to you about that last time. I think that was on my list last time. It probably was. I'm obsessed with that album. I really like that. It's like Alien based, like Alien the movie based.
Yes.
Deathcore, but it's like a very good mix of stuff. I really enjoy that. I really like those guys. And then I guess check out my boy Tony Slam. He's been putting out a lot of like rap stuff lately.
He wants to get on the show.
He really wants to do rap stuff too, though. Like
we just ate curry with that boy.
We just ate food with him like 2 days ago. So
those
are the people I would want to shout out. Like I obviously would love to keep shouting out people, but those are like the main ones I want to shout out.
Is that 5 or whatever?
I think so. I think that was 5.
I think that counts.
I think it was about 4, maybe 5, but
I mean, you already covered like a bunch of shit, but I still should say I want to shout out, things that I've been listening to that I've been like really big into. I love Desoectomy. I love listening to them. I love Bashed In. I really like listening to them.
Awesome.
Bashed In.
I love
that shit is so good. I love everyone in Bashed In. And then like on like a different spectrum. I mean, they're already huge, but I love Tsunami. Like they're in the hardcore, more of the hardcore world than like slam, but it's pretty much a slam band with like hardcore vocals. And I live for it. It's so good.
That right there is the dichotomy between me and Derek. Though I do not like Tsunami. Shout out to Tsunami. You guys kick ass. I can't vibe. I'm gonna go smoke weed in the parking lot.
I vibe so hard, dude. I'm here for it. I want to be your guys' best friends.
We'll beat people up while I do that. So we're good. We're good.
It's so fucking good, dude.
But yeah, shout out Tsunami.
Yeah, no, Tsunami fucking slaps, Deso slaps, Headhunt slaps, Bastion slaps. And honestly, like, I'm just gonna say it, like, I'm very thankful that Peeling is taking the genre of slam and like hardcore like crossover like as big as it has right now. They toured with Suicide Silence. They got another tour coming with, I think, Sanguisugaba.
Yes.
And I'm really stoked for that. Like, I've had like, you know, some nice conversations with Jason as like a human being, just like outside of healing, just about stuff. And they're all just super nice guys. They deserve the world. And, you know, a rising tide will lift all ships. So the bigger Peeling gets, the bigger the rest of us can get.
Exactly.
So,
like, I can definitely
recall. I didn't think to shout out PF. I didn't think about that. They're just doing so good right now, but
they're doing really good. Yeah.
I just want to say, like, I fucking love and respect them. They're fucking killing it.
I was just looking downward, not upward. They're in the sky, man. I missed you, Joe. You went so
dude.
far
They broke 100,000 monthly listeners in Slam.
Insane. Yep,
that's insane.
They're doing
that's
good.
So big. I'm
definitely
so happy.
A good shout out though. Love you guys.
Yeah, always.
I can absolutely say too that like bands like you guys, bands like Peeling Flesh, let's see. I would say 9 Dead, but they're definitely more like prevalent in deathcore. Like I know you guys were with them.
We just played with them.
Yeah,
we just played with them. Yeah,
so they were sick.
They were good.
They're really nice guys too. They were like there for the whole show. Like they supported everyone.
I wanted to go to that show so fucking bad, dude. Like it really like I made some bad.
There was a party, bro.
I'm sure there was a party.
I was bummed that Knights wasn't there, but those are my boys. So shout out Knights of the Abyss. Final shout out. Those are my dads. They've been my dads since 2006, 2007.
Shout out Mark.
Yeah, shout out Nick, Mark, Cody, Andy. Fuck, who they got playing bass right now? I'm such a fucking Gabe. There we go.
Gabe.
Yeah. Well, he played for Darkness Before Dawn back in the day. No, Gabe Centillion. I love him.
I know, but you're like, I'm such a fucking Gabe. What's up, Gabe?
I am weaponized autism. The autism hit.
Weaponized Gabe is what you are.
I am weaponized Gabe.
So, kind of like transitioning into another question. This would be question number 3 in part 2. It reads as follows: how has the name Invirulant changed in the mind of its creators? If not, why?
It has changed so much. I'm pretty sure we feel so free to kind of just do whatever we want to do. We know that we're in a box. Help! I'm trapped in this box. But at the same time, we know we're not. We know that we're only held back by the limitations that we put on ourselves. And trust me, we put a lot of limitations on ourselves. The filtering of the writing process is limiting what's happening incredibly. But I think in general, from the debut to now, Invirulant is like night and day. Yeah. Not only in our song, but our thought process, how we approach things, what we're doing, who we are as people.
I view that question a little bit differently, to be honest, though, because to me the name is the same because it has a definition.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because to me, the word Invirulent is a made-up word with a made-up definition. So, like, I get what you're saying, but the question,
the made-up definition has not changed. The made-up definition has not changed. It's still fire zombie blowing up, bringing back a necro-ambulatory corpse stuff.
Question for you boys regarding the zombies, that set on fire and kind of implode from within. Have any of you boys seen Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress?
Oh no, I think I don't remember if you were telling me that. Somebody was telling me about that. I have not.
It's basically Attack on Titan.
I know what you're talking about.
Much fucking better, and I can.
It sounds like Ryan probably was telling you about that, Tristan, because
I was gonna say that sounds so familiar, dude. Like
I know nothing about it.
I swear to God.
If you guys are the weebs, I know you are.
Anime.
Like,
I'm a weeb, but if it's horror, I'm not.
Oh yeah.
No, it's not horror. It's like the beauty of Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress. Imagine Attack on Titan, but it's returned to an 80s style. It still has the same level of polish, but it looks more authentically 80s anime. And just the overall plot, the idea of the Cabaneri and the main character, everything is so much better. But my point is, I want to see you guys making AMVs for that in the future. If you guys end up liking that show, because I think it's so incredibly on brand for what the Invirulants are. Like the Invirulants might as well be the westernized version of the Cabaneri. So people love animes, people love anime.
Fire Zombie. Oh, I do know what you're talking about. It's the fucking train. Oh yeah. He's right. Those are literally like fire zombies. I didn't even think about that.
The next thing we put out, let's just do an AMV. Let's make it easy. Hit up homie. Let's just do
Those
Clink
are
Pilled.
easy. Do you still have core? Yeah, core A and B.
Let's just do Clink Pilled as a fucking A and B, bro.
After I just spent the time doing the video,
Yeah.
I just made
Well,
this super sick video.
Looks like we're doing a different song then, but it's okay.
That's
All right.
But yeah,
so
I
we'll do
appreciate that. Now that
So what
now
we'll do
that
is
I remembered,
Psychosomatic
Sean,
Problem
I do know what you're
Solver.
talking about. So, oh yeah, I love that song so much. That's our new song name, Sean.
What's that?
Psychosomatic Problem Solver.
Did you
I
see
like
this
my
right here?
intermediate. What's up?
You see this right here? This is my problem solver. It's that meme of that
My
guy holding
problem
the gun.
solver.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, you see this right here? This is my problem solver.
It's my problem solver.
Apply it to thyself. Problem solved.
It's got a it's got a Long Beach Griffey clip at the beginning of it.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
I
are
love Long
all
Beach.
huge fans of Long Beach.
I love
Griffey.
Griffey, dude. Yeah, Griffey's
I
so
love
good.
Griffey more than Griffey is like to me Filthy Frank. Like he's just untouchable. I love him.
Okay. I can acknowledge that. Filthy Frank, I was unintentionally raised around that, like in my early teenage years. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? And then he
We also got a Frank clip.
Yeah, we got a Frank
Yes,
clip
we
in the
do.
new one.
We love Frankie.
Let's
The
do
next
it.
split is just us being like, hey, we like YouTube.
I mean,
Yeah,
honestly,
basically.
the meme culture is very, very prominent. Like
Oh, yeah,
Meme
First Impact
machine.
is basically-
Meme machine.
Yeah, that's funny.
meme
I
machine,
am a
meme.
motherfucking meme machine.
So, more or less, you guys all kind of, I think, except for Brandon, really, like you guys all kind of contributed your answer to that overall question. More or less.
How has Invirulant changed, Brandon?
Yeah.
I think now it's full envy. Envy, right? So it's like that's
Good marketing.
Gone from Invirulant to Envy.
That's become its own thing. It's like not just like this weird kind of thing. It's like more fun. Like we're not Susan, we're Susie now.
Yeah.
You know,
We matured over the summer.
They took your bra off.
it's more fun.
Braless
now.
Susan. Woo!
Braless Susie
Invirulant.
running around with her
That's
tight
like
wet shirt,
what
you know.
your father calls you. Like he calls you
Yeah.
by the full name. It's like
Exactly.
Invirulant.
Get over here.
And your mom's just
Get
like, hey,
over here.
Indy, how you doing, little Indy?
That's funny. That's the best way to put that. I love that.
Good old
We-
dwarf lost some weight.
We
Since
have a
Necrothuggin.
pet
He's
name
about
for
to-
our band now. That's what's changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's the
seriously.
difference.
And we're not just CKB now. There's more in the CKB. There's other
Yeah.
people who can claim CKB on their shit now.
Exactly. And we all love that. We all love to hear that. Okay. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for providing your answers tonight on the 13th of February, 2024. After all, again, it's been such a long time since we last sat down and like so much has changed, really. So
I cut my hair.
yeah, you did. And I'm like, no,
Yeah, me
but
too.
also I get it because AZ's fucking hot. I mean, I cut my hair too, so I can't really say much.
I was just tired of looking homeless, homie.
Me too. Honestly, me too. Question 5 for part 2 would be, why did Necrothuggin end up being an EP instead of an album?
Who wants to take this? Can I?
I got it.
All right.
It started as a split,
That's the answer.
and it took so long to get the split together. We couldn't get the people that we wanted to do on the split, and so we turned it into an EP. We're like, fuck it, we'll just release the songs, and then that gives us a place to give Harden the Paint a home. So it's not just some free floating single out in space. And then all of the other splits caught up with the vengeance. Now we've got like 3 splits that we're working on. So
Fuck you.
it started as a split that couldn't get splitted, and then now
Yeah.
we've got too many splits. So
Basically, it started as a split, and we had all the songs done, and then the other band was like kind of just not ready, or they were having some issues with stuff, and we're like, okay, well, we got 4 songs, and like, well, your guys' songs, like, our 4 songs were like 20 minutes, and his half of the split was like 5 or something. or like 7.
Right.
And-
That was the other issue too, is these songs were like 5 minutes long, whereas every other band, they'd be like, all right, we've got 2 songs at 3 minutes each. And it's like, we've got 2 songs at 6 minutes each. And it's just like, you can't do a split where it's so unevenly, so it's like,
we
all right,
really wanted everything to like kind of match and like feel cohesive, and then
yeah, 10 minutes
just
aside or 5 minutes aside, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Just as a fun fact too, the remnants of that split can still be found, because we say purge the weak and hold that vocal in I can't remember what song now. Is it No Brain?
The name of the split was
No
Purge the Weak.
The name of the split was Purge the Weak, and that vocal is still in there. It's a realm of violence, purge the weak. It's that one part with those long held vocal. Yeah, that part, Purge the Weak, was the name of the split originally, but it's still there.
And
so that's just kind of a fun fact.
Is a
PTK also means that.
I'm just retarded, and I think that K's are W's.
Yeah, we don't know, and none of us corrected him.
No one corrected me.
I didn't notice until it was like way too late.
PTK.
So now it's like punch them kids. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
just
I don't
anything.
know. We don't know what PTK stands for. We've been just trying to like make up definitions for it.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Well, I mean, honestly, we covered a lot tonight. We covered a lot in, I think, at least 2 to 3 hours. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we're right at the
It's been a good podcast.
It's been a good podcast.
I think
so.
I just want to thank you on behalf of all of us. Thanks for having us on again. Thanks for reaching out and giving us the platform to kind of give this long format answers that hopefully people enjoy hearing, because it's. I want to say it. I want to tell people what's going on in the indie camp.
I like talking about it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, honestly, you invest the resources that you do, whether it be mentally, financially, physically, creatively, whatever. You invest resources into this stuff. And I am definitely noticing that you guys are rising in the ranks of the heavy counterculture world. It is unrivaled. It's unrivaled. Like, you guys are fun, you're loose, but you also contribute to the genre because you have individuals like Tristan who are like, slam, but then you make it fun. And very much like Peeling Flesh, I wholeheartedly think that when it comes to pretty deep slam, underground slam, all the ectomies, all the abominations, whatever. Honestly, you guys are the future of this scene. I know you're the future of this scene. So not only do we both have a mutual understanding, and we're homies, we've been homies for a long time, but in a joking way, I also want to continue having you guys on the podcast before you become too cool to come back on.
we'll always come on. That's never not gonna happen. Like we
don't like to ignore our past like that.
Exactly. Yeah. But more or less, that's absolutely a joke, because nobody in deep counterculture has an ego like that. And well, for those bands, we typically don't. I don't host them on the show. It's like, well, I know you're a brand, so I'm good.
like if we ever get for some podcasts, don't worry, do you next?
Oh my God!
What just happened?
It just cut out.
What did you say? Repeat that. Because it was all robot.
Oh, I said if we get big enough for like us as on Garza podcast.
Garza podcast. I heard that part.
If we're ever on the Garza podcast, we will literally be on your podcast. Like, there's no, we're too big for you.
Right.
Man, I don't know what the fuck happened to him though. Somebody turned on something in your house. Woo.
Yeah.
But yeah,
me?
It was like still warbling out a little bit, but like, we can definitely.
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like,
oh, okay, dope.
On the Garza podcast, like, we'll always remember the legacy. We'll always remember the history. And that's exactly what this show is for. Of course, more or less my intentions tonight were to kind of like shake it up a little bit by also having my buddy Finn, the Orc King, who is my new co-host, join us. But because me and him have such complicated schedules, well, it's not always going to happen. And we're in 2 different time zones. So in due time, most likely in May, if nothing else, we can basically all be on this camera but then have like Finn somewhere else on screen. Boom, there's the Anatomy podcast, whatever fucking episode with Invirulant Part 3. But just recalling.
Like I said, let's book it for May, dude. We'll be in town.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
we'll be in town the weekend of May. Because we're playing with Pathology on the 3rd, and then on the 4th we're playing a festival out in Tucson.
Right, exactly. So I think, ladies and gentlemen, and everything possibly in between over on Sean Cross, the Dear Cross Core, here is another lovely offering from the Anatomy podcast with the return of the Invirulants, that being Brandon Slam Dad Shobe, Tristan Cheshire, and Derek Ryan.
Hey, and Reggie the Hedgie.
Yeah, my boy.
Oh
there we go.
Bro, if anyone gets this far, they get Reggie. He's all grumpy now.
Exactly.
He was all happy.
Yeah, because he's right by my face.
Thank you guys for your time tonight. Thank you guys for deciding to jump into a session so last minute, as quite literally we planned nothing before this, and we were all just kind of sad on Friday when we couldn't meet in person. But we will see you guys all next time on the Anatomy podcast. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Go listen to Necrothuggin. It's live now everywhere.
Listen to Necrothuggin. Love you too, guys.
Love you, Sean.
Bye.
It's still recording.